Good evening. I hope your day was good, and if it wasn't, I hope tomorrow's better. Tonight I'll be reading some poetry from a book called Egghead. It's a Bo Burnham book. If you know who he is, then you'll know he's a comedian, and he's hilarious and very much explicit. But I've chosen some of my favorite poems from this book to read to you tonight. So let's get started. I eat words. I eat words, delicious words. I gobble the words that you make. Words like rod taste like turds, but billow tastes like cake. I stuff my face with afterwards and wash it down with hush. Dessert must wait till afterwards, like hunch or flack or crush. And my dessert won't be dessert, that word is tough to chew. I'll have my word that's sweet and curt, like pony, nip, or blue. Flowers. On the 3rd of June, at 2:01, where once was a person, a flower now grew. 5 daisies arranged on a large outdoor stage in front of a 10-acre pasture of sage. In a changing room, a lily poses, at the DMV, a row of roses. The world was much crueler an hour ago. I'm glad someone decided to give flowers a go. The flirt. I could make an easy joke to get you laughing, something about a cat and then the word pussy being used ambiguously. I could tell a sad story to get you crying, like how I had a single mother who started selling handmade yo-yos to support her only child. I could tell you an interesting fact to get you nodding, like how carpets were first made in the hopes that all of the world's grass would one day be replaced by carpets, or, as they call them, comfy grass. I could tell you a scary story to get your teeth chattering, something about a really old man sitting in a squeaky rocking chair pointing at you. What are you in the mood for? Can I have a word? Can I have a word, please? It can be any word, just give me a word. We can all share the rest. Just let me have one. It can be anything. I'd take canteen or avid. I'd even settle for timely. But you can't use my word, whatever it is, without asking, 'cause it's my word. It'll almost always let you use it when you ask, unless, for example, my word is wonderful, and you want to use it to describe a movie I haven't seen yet, or a movie I saw already and didn't care for. I really want everything. That's my first choice. Flabbergasted is a close second. The letter. I wrote you a letter, and then another letter, and another, until I wrote you a word. So I wrote you a word, and then another word, and another, until I wrote you a sentence. So I wrote you a sentence, and then another sentence, and another, until I wrote you a letter. I hope it finds you as I found you. Yours truly, yours truly. Rock bottom. I've hit rock bottom. What's a guy to do? I certainly can't head upwards, so I'll try digging through. Cup of Joe. There's nothing like a cup of Joe, when the morning's gray and grim and slow, when the streets collide with the world outside, when litter lies where lilies grow. Just drink that smoking cup of black and feel your feelings surging back. Plus, spill a drop and a coffee shop will sprout up from a sidewalk crack. Pumpkin. Someone carved a face in that pumpkin, and now it's perched on a stoop, grinning, with the same sinister grin the carver must have had when he carved it. And everything I recognize as expressive, the triangular eyes, that big toothy smile, is marked by a lack of pumpkin, a red face of dead space. And now I'm seeing just the opposite. I see two spots where I should be, an open wound where the mouth once sat, and a fire within, baking the insides. Benches. Old men love to sit on benches. They do, all day. If you see an empty bench, look around. I guarantee you will not see any old men. Old men always sit on benches, and they always have. Back in the day, baby old men with their walking sticks and baby dentures would sit on tiny baby benches. And as they grew from baby old men, puttering around dragging baby oxygen tanks into grown-up old men puttering around dragging oxygen tanks, the benches grew too. Sometimes two old men will sit on a bench together, and that's fine, because it's not a throne, it's a bench, and it's for old men. Count of 6. I'll give you to the count of 6. 1. Now run. 2. Go, screw. 3. Let me be. 4. There's the door. 5. While I'm still alive. 6. Please stay. I love you. Another day on the ant farm. Another day on the ant farm, and still no crops in sight. The soil's something terrible. The days are far too bright. We work the fields, we tend the land, we check the ground for weeds. But how are we to farm when we weren't even given seeds? There's little hope in sight, and as I sit here all alone, I wonder if an ant farm's just a place where ants are grown. Different. Although there's many different brains with different stories, different names, different isn't safe like same, so same makes most take safer aim. Who needs these same old, same fakes? Today that same old, lame mold breaks. I'm me. I'm me. Meet me and see what a difference makes. 3 little words. If you were perfect, I'd tattoo this on my chest. If you were beautiful, I'd carve this into a tree trunk. If you were nice, I'd write this in a letter. But you're none of those. Time blows. Life is an open book. Time is an oscillating fan. I've had to learn to skim read because before I can read more than a few paragraphs, that fucking airhead comes circling back, blowing pages like a medieval prostitute. The cool air feels nice, though. Sometimes, when my head aches, I let my eyes relax, and I enjoy the breeze as the words blur. Sasquatch. The Sasquatch squats, flowers in hand, on an old stump by the riverbed. She's not coming. He knows that by now, but he stays put, tracing circles in the dirt with his big toe. Overhead, the birds sing their condolences. A fox passes and offers a bite of a dead squirrel. The monster politely declines. As the sun tucks itself behind the horizon, his eyes close, his chin meets his chest, and the flowers slip from his grasp. She waits. She waits. How beautifully she waits. How impossibly lovely she is with a thing so passive. With what weight she waits, making her bus or boyfriend or whatever she waits for seem like a first brunch with Christ. She waits regally, in perfect contrast to the drooling buffoon describing her. Put you in my pocket. Could I crush you, young lady, and put you in my pocket? You would fold beautifully, like $50 bill beautifully, not origami swan beautifully. We could unwind by the glass lakes of romance, or tangle by the dank wetlands of perversion, as long as we're together. Heart surgeon. In his long career as a heart surgeon, his life full of valves and ventricles, full of tumors and heartache, rumors and arteries, in all those years of blood and tears, he'd never seen anything like this before. Hanged. I hung myself today. Hanged? Whatever. The point is I hang myself today, and I'm still hanging. I feel fine. Just bored. I keep hoping that someone will come home and cut me down, but then I keep remembering that if I knew someone like that, I wouldn't be up here. Bit ironic, right? Or is that not ironic? I read somewhere that, like, anything funny is, in some way, ironic. But I don't know if it's funny or not. I don't think my brain owns funny, you know? I feel taller. I like that. I've never been away from my shadow this long. It had always clung to my feet, parting momentarily for a quick dive into the swimming pool. But never for 5 hours. I like it. There's 3 feet of space between my two and the floor. I wanted something this morning. I may be stuck, but at least I'm 3 feet closer to it. Stars. The stars buzz around me, all lovely and green, with a bright swirl of dusty stuff dancing between. As I lay down in bed, I still can't conceive that they'll carry on gambling after I leave. Hello, my old friend. Hello, my old friend, you silly old clown. How's that mountain of life you've been tumbling down? How's that little line segment with infinite points? How's the red rust of time been kind to your joints? How's that worn path of safety? Has it led you astray? What's that? How am I? Oh, I'm okay. Gypsy. On Wednesday morning, clear and calm, I went to Astor Place and had a gypsy read my palm, or maybe just my face. She said my heart was heavy and my head was stuffed with lies, but things like that weren't on my hand. They hid behind my eyes. The room is dull and dank and cold, but at least I have a hand to hold. Strange. I feel strange. Half light-hearted, half heavy-handed. You know when you get a song stuck in your head and you can't get it out? I hate that. That's sort of what this feels like. I feel better. Less panicked, more confused, but a good confused. You know that feeling of warm water running down your back when washing your hair? I love that. That's sort of what this feels like. I feel great. And nothing. This is just what I needed. A warm bath and a quick nap. Beautiful. You're the most beautiful girl I have ever seen, and I know that. But I can't rediscover it every fucking day. I can't return to that epiphany every time my alarm clock goes off. It's unnatural. But what I can do, and do quite naturally, is become jaded and unimpressed by it. I can see your beauty as normal, as one of my life's many constants. I can climb atop its shoulders and travel about, rolling my eyes at sunsets and rainbows, dismissing all the beauty of the world as less than average. And I complain to you about it. And you can deduce your beauty from that. The party. Only after that drunken late-night congress had dispersed, and the music had stopped, and the walls had caught their breath, and the smug fog of dialogue had condensed on the empty glasses, only then did I notice how unhappy you were. The strobe light had given me stale, unusable snapshots. Even if I had seen some struggle on you somewhere, I would have mistook it for some simple social rigmarole, as everyone's behavior reeked of performance. And only after that night had given in to the next day, and I had stood where you danced so cautiously, and I had imagined you sitting in that chair that still bared my imprint, only then did I realize why you felt that way. Change. I don't expect to change your mind with one conversation, only to chip away at it, like a woodpecker on a redwood tree. A wonderful day to be dead. What a perfect day to be gone and forgotten. What a wonderful day to be dead. 6 feet above me, the world's gone rotten, and I'm rotten in a coffin instead. You'll die one day, and that day could be any one of the thousands ahead. But I can guarantee that that day will be a wonderful day to be dead. Wooden soldiers. I bought a box of wooden soldiers. I bought them from the store. And now 100 tiny soldiers guard my bedroom floor. So if you're a scary monster thing who wants to go to war, my bedroom door is open. I'm not frightened anymore. Walk with me. Walk with me now, if you would, or wouldn't mind, or would mind not walking someone as I would. Speak to me now if you must, or mustn't be quiet, or must have forgot something important, as I must have. Stay with me now if you can, or can't decide, or can't not stay with someone, anybody, as I can't. Fishing. It's unfortunate that the word for catching fish by piercing their lips with hooks and dragging them onto a boat is called fishing. To the fish, fishing means something different. To fish is to live, to love, to be. When the more aggressive fish find a lonely swimming human and rip the flesh from its stupid bones, that's called peopling. The future. I reckon, don't discredit me due to the elderly start, that in the future, in the far future, if all goes well, 2 gay fathers will disown their son because their son wants to marry his clone. It's unnatural, they'll scream. It's an abomination, they'll cry. The son and his clone will run away together, beside themselves, only armed with love. They'll hide in the scrapyards and motel rooms until the bigotry passes, as it always does. Knots in the grass. I spend most of my day outside, crouched to the earth, tying knots in the grass. I spend most of my year traveling, looking for fields or front yards, tying knots in the grass. If you find a knot, you find me, as I am the only thing tying knots in the grass. Her eyes. Her eyes were like fire. They weren't red or anything. Not particularly warm either. They didn't glow or appear to glow, whatever that means. But they had some strange blend of familiar and miraculous. And they were always nice to look at after a long day of doing things. Bustle. Writers like to talk about how things are or were bustling. The market was bustling on a bustling street corner. In a bustling bakery, the muffins bustled in the oven. Don't worry, Rupert. The bus will be bustling by in 5 minutes. I mean, I get it. Bustle is a good word. It makes total sense. Whenever I'm in a group of more than 3 people, all I can hear in my head is bustle, 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 bustle. I say it to myself, silently, even when people appear to be trying to start a conversation with me. A cute girl may be right in front of me, looking at my face and mouthing sounds, but all I can think of is bustle, 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 bustle. I hope you enjoyed the readings from this evening, and I hope you sleep well. I love you. Good night.